The Shadow of Dead Love. Chapter 1 Death in March. 3 months ago, in the small town shrouded in twilight, the rain wet the forest paths, quiet and cold. Shen Qingyu, an ordinary woman, fell to her death in her apartment, and the residents of the entire building said that she was a lonely woman. However, this incident did not dissipate over time. 3 weeks later, Shen Qingyu's ex-husband Gu Shengting also died mysteriously in his study. The door was locked from the inside, the window was closed, and the police found no abnormalities. After receiving the news of Gu Shengting's friend Liu Li, the whole person fell into confusion and silence. He clearly knew that all this was not accidental. In the night, Liu Li stood in front of Shen Qingyu's apartment door, the rain slid down his cheeks, and he muttered in a low voice, what the hell are you? What happened? Underscore 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 un. Chapter 2 Broken Memories. Liu Li flipped through Shen Qingyu's old handbooks, but what was revealed between the lines was strange words. Every night, I hear someone crying. Someone is still looking at me. Liu Li's heart tightened suddenly, his fingers trembled, and these words echoed in the air like ghosts. He began to think about whether there was some indescribable force behind Shen Qingyu's suicide. At this moment, there was a yellowed photo in the notebook, a strange man dressed in black, standing at the door of Shen Qingyu's apartment, his face blurred, but it made Liu Li feel deep fear. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 3 Late Night Phone Calls. At midnight, Liu Li's phone rang suddenly, an unfamiliar number. Liu Li, are you looking for her? On the other end of the phone, there was Shen Qingyu's familiar and unfamiliar voice. Liu Li was stunned, his voice trembling. You? Are you? How is that possible? There was a moment of silence on the phone, and then he whispered, I've always been there, but you can't find me. Liu Li's heart began to beat wildly, and he realized that a quest for love, death, and ghostly secrets had just begun. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 4 Eyes in the Dark. Liu Li decided to go to the cafe that Shen Qingyu used to go to before his death, trying to find clues. The cafe was dimly lit, the tables and chairs were scattered, and everything seemed frozen in time. Suddenly, he felt a pair of eyes staring at him, but there was no figure. Systematic intuition tells him, this is not an illusion. He muttered in a low voice, where are you hiding? At this moment, a low laughter came from the corner of the cafe, as if coming from the depths of the abyss, and Liu Li instantly understood that there was a secret that he could not touch here. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 5 The Old Past. During the investigation, Liu Li accidentally discovered that Shen Qingyu had participated in a secret community that studied love, marriage, and paranormal phenomena. Liu Li flipped through the information and was shocked to realize that an old case 3 years ago was closely related to her death. At that time, a couple mysteriously disappeared, and the key clues in the case pointed to an ancient symbol, strikingly similar to the symbol in Shen Qingyu's handbook. Liu Li's heart tightened, the night wind was cold, he looked up at the starry sky and muttered to himself, this is not just a tragedy. This is a mysterious conspiracy that has lasted for many years. Chapter 6 Shadow Bookstore. Liu Li followed the clues to a hidden secretary's shop. The bookstore was dark and narrow, and the shelves were full of yellowed ancient books. There was a faint musty smell in the air, as if it carried countless secrets. The shopkeeper was an old man named Jean Urchin, with a pale face and deep eyes. Are you looking for her? Jean Urchin spoke in a low voice, his voice as if it came from the ground. Liu Li nodded, his palms slightly sweaty. The old man took out a notebook from behind him, with Shen Qingyu's image sketch sandwiched between the pages. She left traces, but can you bear the truth? Liu Li took a deep breath and understood that he could no longer turn back. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 7 The Broken Truth. The notebook records Shen Qingyu's fears and hallucinations during her lifetime. She once saw a man in black at night and heard a low murmur. When Liu Li flipped through it, his systematic intuition told him that this was not a simple illusion, but related to the secret organization behind her death. Suddenly, a handwritten note slipped down and said, don't chase me, otherwise you will disappear like him. Liu Li clenched his fists, the night was like a knife, and he decided to uncover the truth no matter what. underscore 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 un. Chapter 8 Strange Letters. Back at the apartment, Lu Li found an unsigned letter in the mailbox. The handwriting on the paper is familiar but unfamiliar. Lu Li, you shouldn't explore this matter, but if you insist, Yuer has been waiting for you. Shocked, he felt a chill spread down his spine. At the end of the letter, there is also an antique bronze pendant, which is exactly the same as the symbol in Shen Qingyu's handbook. System prompt, clue triggered, truth plus 10%. Lu Li understood that this was a message left to him by Yuer, or a trial. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 9 Midnight Shadow. At midnight, Lu Li dreamed that Shen Qingyu appeared, his figure looming, and his eyes were full of tears. Lu Li, don't give up on me, she whispered, her voice seemingly coming from a distant abyss. Lu Li woke up, only to find a pair of small women's shoes in the corner of the room, stained with traces of rain and mud. The door slowly closed, and Shen Qingyu's breath filled the air, as if she had never left. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 10 The Shadow of the Ancient House. According to the bookstore's notes, Lu Li found an abandoned ancient house, which is said to have been secretly visited by Shen Qingyu during his lifetime. The gate of the ancient house is modeled, and the door is engraved with strange symbols. Stepping into the house, the walls are covered with broken paintings, and the eyes of the characters in each painting are staring straight at him. Lu Li felt creepy, but still moved forward. Every step was like stepping on a memory of the past, and Shen Qingyu's figure seemed to be watching him from a dark place. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 11 The Confused Man in Black. In the ancient house, Lu Li saw the man in black appear for the first time. The man was silent, his back was tall, and his breath was like a shadow possessing him. Lu Li approached cautiously, trying to identify him, but the man in black instantly disappeared into the darkness in the corner. A yellowed note was left on the ground that read, "The truth can only be revealed by your own hands." System prompt, tracking skills plus 15%, danger alert plus 20%. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 12 Broken Notes. Lu Li found that Shen Qingyu had another document in her note, which recorded the unknown past between her and her ex-husband Gu Shengting. The text reveals a dark secret. Gu Shengting was involved in a bizarre death during his lifetime, and Shen Qingyu was under great mental pressure because of his involvement. Lu Li was terrified. His death 3 months ago was just a prologue, and the deeper darkness was still waiting for him. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 13 Clues to the Antique Shop. Lu Li followed the line to an antique shop, and the owner Yun Sahan claimed that Shen Qingyu had bought ancient pendants and charms from him, suspected of being for protection. The pendant symbol displayed in the store was exactly the same as the handbook, and Lu Li speculated that this might be her tool to resist some kind of power. System prompt, clue collection plus 15%, abnormal perception plus 10%. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 14 Abnormal Night Walk. At night, Lu Li felt Yuer's aura again, and followed the breath through the narrow alley, only to find that the alley was empty. Only under the moonlight, a black shadow passed quickly, leaving a cold whisper, "Leave, otherwise you will disappear too." Lu Li clenched his fists and decided not to back down. Behind Yuer's death, there must be an ulterior secret hidden. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 15 Uncover the First Mystery. Lu Li returned to the bookstore and talked to Zhang Urchin, and the old man finally revealed part of the truth. Shen Qingyu did not simply commit suicide, she touched the ancient secret that was forbidden, and Gu Shengting's death was not an accident. You have to be prepared to face the shadow and past she left behind. Lu Li clenched his fists, and a determination welled up in his heart. No matter how horrific the truth was, he would find Yuer. System prompt, truth trigger plus 20%, determination plus 30%. Chapter 16 Forbidden Runes. Lu Li found a dilapidated rune scroll in an antique shop, with strange symbols, as if carrying some kind of vitality. Jean Urchin warned, most of the people who touch this rune are unstable and easy to lose themselves. Lu Li's heart trembled slightly, but he still decided to study it carefully. System prompt, abnormal rune analysis plus 20%, mental resistance plus 15%. He understood that this was the key to uncovering the truth about Shen Qingyu's death. Chapter 17 Late Night Visitors. At midnight, there was a knock on the door of the apartment. Lu Li opened the door and saw a woman wearing a black trench coat. Her face was exactly the same as Shen Qingyu's, but she was chilled. You are... Lu Li's voice trembled, and his heart beat like a drum. The woman spoke slowly, you have been looking for me, but can you bear the truth? Lu Li's heart was shocked, and he realized that he was about to face the shadow of the past and reality. Chapter 18 Thriller Reunion. The woman called herself Shen Qingyu and explained that she was actually imprisoned by a secret organization 3 months ago, risking her life to leave some clues for Lu Li to find. Lu Li was shocked, and his heart was filled with mixed feelings. Is the resurrection of his lover happiness or a new danger? With sad eyes, she said softly, I came back, not for you, but to stop them from. System prompt, truth progress plus 30%, emotional impact plus 25%. Chapter 19 The Shadow of the Undead. Shen Qingyu took Lu Li back to the ancient house and showed the videos and documents left by the organization. The video shows that Gu Shengting's death was an experiment in organizational design with the intention of manipulating their spirit and love. Endless sadness surged in Lu Li's heart. He always thought it was an accident and a ghost, but it was the darkness of human nature that was causing trouble. Chapter 20 The Mystery of the Ancient Mansion. In the depths of the ancient house, there is a secret room. The walls are covered with broken mirrors. Each mirror reflects Shen Qingyu in a different time and space. She whispered, the past and future are recorded here, and any choice may change our destiny. Lu Li stepped into the mirror, as if he had traveled through time and space, and saw the last night before you or committed suicide. System prompt, psychological insight plus 20%, space-time perception plus 15%. Chapter 21 Whispering in the Middle of the Night. In the secret room, whispers echoed everywhere, leave, or you will become a part of him. Lu Li held the rune pendant in his hand tightly and decided to face it bravely. Shen Qingyu touched his hand lightly, his eyes sad, all these years, I have been waiting for you to understand me and for you to save myself. System prompt, emotional connection plus 30%, psychological endurance plus 20%. Chapter 22 Shadow Tracking. Lu Li discovered that there was a secret passage in the secret room leading to the city's underground sewers. The symbols along the way matched Yuer's handbook, and he felt a cold aura chasing after him. This is the last line of defense left by the organization. Shen Qingyu whispered. They must travel through to find the person who truly controls the fate of Gu Shengting and Shen Qingyu. Chapter 23 The Whispers of the Dead. In the depths of the waterway, Lu Li heard Gu Shengting's voice whispering, leave, don't involve love. Lu Li's heart was shocked, realizing that the ghostly echo was not supernatural, but a psychological trap set by the organization. Shen Qingyu squeezed his hand and whispered, no matter what, we have to go on. System prompt, psychological resistance plus 25%, tracking skill plus 20%. Chapter 24 Organizational Core. At the exit of the waterway, they arrive at an abandoned factory, which is the core stronghold of the secret organization. Lu Li and Yu quietly sneak in, discovering a large number of documents, surveillance, and ancient runes, revealing the organization's methods of controlling people's hearts and love. They control not only fate, but also emotions. Shen Qingyu said in a low voice. System prompt, intelligence decoding plus 30%, rune understanding plus 20%. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 25 The Choice Between Love and Death. In the core room, they found Gu Shengting's last video, showing that he was forced to participate in a plan to manipulate Yu during his lifetime. Lu Li's heart was like a knife, and he understood that what he loved was not a simple person, but a shadow that affected countless lives. Shen Qingyu looked at him, tears flashing in his eyes. Are you willing to face it with me, or choose to leave? System prompt, emotional decision-making plus 40%, truth progress plus 50%. Chapter 26 The Dark Room Trap. Lu Li and Shen Qingyu sneaked into the dark room of the organization's core, runes flashed around them, and countless distorted images were projected on the wall, like fragments of the memory of each person controlled by the organization. Here. Every image can devour the mind. Shen Qingyu said in a low voice. Lu Li held the rune pendant tightly, and the system prompted, psychological endurance plus 30%, rune resistance plus 20%. They walk through the room carefully, and any mistake can be swallowed up by a trap. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 27 Shadow Illusion. Suddenly, the image fragments turned into ghosts, whispering Lu Li's name. Leave, don't come close. Gu Shengting's voice sounded in his ears. Lu Li felt his body and mind being pulled, as if the whole space was spinning. Shen Qingyu held his hand tightly, his voice as warm as candlelight. You are not alone, we are together. System prompt, psychological resistance plus 35%, emotional connection plus 30%. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 28 The Leader in Black. In the depths of the dark room, the leader in black appeared, and under the mask was a cold and ruthless face. You are finally here. He spoke in a low voice, his tone full of control. Lu Li took a deep breath, his heart beating faster. He knew that this battle would determine Yu's life and death, and also determined whether he could unravel the truth. System tip, tactical readiness plus 25%, rune power plus 30%. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 29 Rune Duel. The black-clothed leader waved his talisman staff, and the rune energy struck like a storm. Lu Li cooperated with Shen Qingyu to use pendants and ancient scroll runes to form an enchantment to resist attacks. Light and shadow intertwined, and the entire dark room seemed to enter another time and space, and the low spell echoed, and the mind was almost torn apart. System tips, rune control plus 40%, tactical cooperation plus 35%. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 30 Echoes of the Undead. During the battle, Gu Shengting's image appeared in the barrier, and his soul whispered like a shadow. Leave. This is a curse that I cannot escape. Lu Li felt extremely painful, but Shen Qingyu held his hand tightly and whispered, he no longer binds you, we have to decide the future by ourselves. System prompt, emotional decision-making plus 40%, psychological stress resistance plus 35%. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 31 Despair and Courage. The black-clothed leader approached, the rune energy fluctuated violently, and the dark room began to collapse. Lu Li and Shen Qingyu clung to each other tightly, the rune light enveloped their bodies, and they decided to take the risk of breaking through. No matter how terrifying the truth is, we must face it. Lu Li whispered. System tip, adventure success rate plus 35%, enchantment stability plus 30%. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 32 The Truth Emerges. In the center of the collapsed dark room, they found an ancient box containing all the secrets of Gu Shengting and Shen Qingyu in the past 3 years. Gu Shengting was threatened by the organization and forced Yu to endure mental pressure. Shen Qingyu's suicide was just to cover up his whereabouts, but he was actually forced to escape. The organization has mastered a runic technique that manipulates emotions in life and death. Liu Li looked at Yu with tears in his eyes. So all this. It's all a conspiracy. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 33 The Decisive Battle with the Leader in Black. When the black-clad leader saw that the truth was revealed, his anger came like a gust of wind. Liu Li and Shen Qingyu used their rune enchantments with all their might, using psychological insight and tactical cooperation to gradually suppress each other. System tip, tactical limit plus 50%, rune control plus 50%. The entire dark room vibrated, and the runic light illuminated every corner, like a spectacle of time and space intertwined. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 34 The Choice of Love. After the battle, the leader in black was defeated, but the dark room was about to collapse. Shen Qingyu looked at Liu Li with sad eyes. If we leave here, we can still survive, but if I stay, will you take risks? Liu Li was entangled in his heart, facing love and life and death. He understood. True courage, is it to let go or join hands? System prompt, emotional decision-making plus 50%, survival skills plus 40%. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 35 The Shadow Final Chapter. Liu Li finally pulled Shen Qingyu up and escaped from the collapsed dark room. They stood under the night, looking at the broken runes and the remaining light and shadow, knowing that they were cut from the shadows of the past. We. Finally free. Shen Qingyu whispered. Liu Li held her hand tightly and smiled. No matter what happened in the past, let's start over. System prompt, truth completion plus 100%, emotional ending plus 100%, shadow lifting plus 100%. Chapter 36 Return to the City. Liu Li and Shen Qingyu escaped from the old house, the dampness in the night wind biting their bones. The streets are silent, and the city seems frozen in time. Shen Qingyu whispered, in this city, there are still traces left by them, and we must completely cut them off. Liu Li held the rune pendant tightly, and the system prompted, clue tracking plus 40%, psychological stress resistance plus 30%. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 37 The Shadow Lurks. They returned to the apartment and found the symbol of the black organization plastered in the corner, and the whisper echoed faintly. Liu Li realized that the organization had not been completely eliminated, and their goal was to destroy Shen Qingyu's spirit and love. Shen Qingyu stared into the darkness. This time, I will not run away again. System prompt, mental resistance plus 40%, rune protection plus 35%. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 38 Dark Night Pursuit. At night, Liu Li and Shen Qingyu followed a suspicious clue and came to the abandoned factory. The man in black appeared again, this time more. His breath was as cold as a tide. Liu Li whispered to Shen Qingyu, let's face it together, there is no way out. System tip, tactical collaboration plus 40%, abnormal vigilance plus 35%. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 39 Rune Ultimate Battle. Inside the abandoned factory, the black-clothed leader appeared again, holding an ancient talisman staff, and the rune energy was surging. Liu Li and Shen Qingyu used enchantments and rune strategies, and in the interweaving of light and shadow, the entire factory seemed to travel through time and space. System prompt, rune control plus 50%, tactical limit plus 45%. After a round of fierce battle, the black-clothed leader's talisman staff shattered, and the organization's forces completely collapsed. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 40 Gu Shengting's Echo. After the war, Gu Shengting's soul appeared, smiling but sad. You are leaving this shadow, you are truly free. Liu Li looked at Yu, tears slid down, he understood that Gu Shengting finally let go and was relieved to love Yu. System prompt, shadow lift plus 100%, emotion end plus 30%. Underscore 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 on. Chapter 41 The Dawn of the City. At dawn, the city light shines through the curtains, warm and bright. Liu Li and Shen Qingyu strolled through the streets. There was still a mysterious aura in the air that had not dissipated, but the danger was far away. Shen Qingyu whispered, "We can start a new life." Liu Li squeezed her hand and smiled firmly. Underscore 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 on. Chapter 42 Revisiting Old Matters. Back in the bookstore, Jean Urchin handed them the last piece of information, revealing all the secrets and rune sources left by the organization. It's finally over, but remember, love and death have intertwined. Liu Li and Shen Qingyu nodded silently, feeling an unprecedented calmness. Underscore 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 on. Chapter 43 The Reconstruction of the Soul. Liu Li and Shen Qingyu began to rebuild their lives, and market life, books and rune research became their new daily life. They slowly understand that the shadows of the past cannot be erased but can be transformed into the power of love and courage. System prompt, emotional stability plus 50%. Psychological balance plus 40%. Underscore 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 on. Chapter 44 The Shadow's Warning. Even after the organization collapses, there are occasional whispers echoing at night, reminding them that the world is still full of unknowns. Shen Qingyu looked at the night sky and smiled. No matter how many shadows there are, we are no longer afraid. Liu Li nodded, and the rune pendant flickered in the moonlight, like a guardian light. Underscore 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 on. Chapter 45 Family and Love. Liu Li's parents visit them, but the warmth of the family brings new pressure to choose. Should they return to an ordinary family or continue to explore the unknown world? Shen Qingyu stared at Liu Li. No matter which path we choose, we must be together. Liu Li took a deep breath and understood in his heart that love had transcended life and death and shadows. Underscore 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 on. Chapter 46 The Old Dream Reappears. One night, Shen Qingyu dreamed of Gu Shengting, with a sad expression, as if telling her the end of everything in the past. She woke up, held Liu Li's hand, and smiled. The ghosts of the past no longer bind us. System prompt, emotional decision-making plus 50%, mental detachment plus 50%. Underscore 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 on. Chapter 47 The Guardian of Runes. They seal the remaining runes of the organization in a secret room, ensuring that they are not misused. The rune light flickered slightly, guarding the city and their love like a ghost. Liu Li and Shen Qingyu looked at each other, understanding and determined. Underscore 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 on. Chapter 48 The Dawn of Freedom. The city dawns, the sun shines on the streets, and the moist air brings hope. Liu Li and Shen Qingyu walked in the morning light, and the fear, shadows and pain of the past dissipated like clouds and smoke. System prompt, truth completion plus 100%, emotional ending plus 100%, historical track stability plus 50%. Underscore 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 on. Chapter 49 Rebirth. They moved to a new apartment with the shadows of trees outside the window. Shen Qingyu looked at the morning light outside the window and smiled. Our lives are like sunshine, starting anew. Liu Li squeezed her hand, his heart full of determination. Never let the shadow control their lives again. Underscore 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 on. Chapter 50 The Final Chapter of Love and Shadow. At night, they looked at the city lights from the balcony and the breeze blew in their faces. Shen Qingyu leaned on Lu Li's shoulder and whispered, "No matter what the shadow is, love is the ultimate answer." Lu Li responded softly, "We are finally free, everything in the past is just a floating shadow." Under the moonlight, the rune pendant shimmered, symbolizing their love over death and shadows, and the story came to an end.